In the last video, I showed you my desperate attempt in saving wilty. I bought a plant watering kit from AliExpress, but there are a lot of things we need to improve. And in this video, I will start with the elephant in the room, the relay board. Why on earth would you use relays to turn on these small motors? I cannot think of a single good reason. It's time to upgrade to transistors. Yes. Relays are great for switching huge loads, especially when we're working with mains voltage. Luckily, these tiny pumps here are not huge and also do not run on mains voltage. So let's replace the relay with a transistor. I have multiple pumps, so I will use a transistor array. The ULN2003 is a great option here. Thank you for your comment, by the way. If you want to turn on a motor using a transistor, there are some things you need to know. The transistor needs to be able to withstand the maximum current. Motors have a high inrush current because they need to accelerate the mass inside them. When they reach their speed, the current consumption goes down. So let's measure the current. The motor is advertised to run on 2 AA batteries, so I will use 3 volts, and if I turn it on permanently, I get a current of around 145 milliamps. You see that my current limit is set to 300 milliamps, and if I turn on the motor, we see this red blip here. And this red blip means that we exceed the 300 milliamps. And the transistor needs to be able to withstand this high inrush current. If I turn it down to 100 milliamps, we stay in current limit and we don't even reach the 3 volts. If I increase it to 200, it stays in current limit while it's ramping up. We're limiting the inrush current. And in order to find out how much current we have, we could use a current probe with an oscilloscope. And the cheaper way, because I don't have one, is to just increase the current limit here and increase it until the current limit doesn't blink anymore. So at 300, we still see a red LED. Let's go to 500. I see no red LED anymore. Now that might be different underwater. The current limit is not triggering. But the pump is now consuming 400 milliamps. This is dry and this is wet. If we take a look at the datasheet of an ULN2003, then this thing has a current rating of 500 milliamps. So it should be fine in this case. But it's very close because this also is the peak collector current. This 500 milliamps peak current is fine, but this here is a problem. We have a total emitter terminal of 500 milliamps. Which company is this? I'm using an ST. Let's take a look at the ST. So what is the total current here? Continuous collector current, 500 milliamps. Output current, 500 milliamps per driver. 600 milliamps peak. So the ST datasheet has no total emitter current. It looks like I could run all of them at 500 milliamps, if I understand that correctly. Please let me know in the comments. There is no emitter current here. Anyway, I will use one channel, so I'm fine. A motor is an inductive load because there is a coil inside. When it's turned on, there will be some energy stored inside of this coil. When you turn it off, you need to dissipate this energy. Otherwise, your transistor might be dissipated. Also, when you turn it off, you have kinetic energy stored in the water flow and in the rotating parts of the pump. This also needs to be dissipated when you turn it off. The ULN2003 comes with integrated flyback diodes. perfect for this application. So this is how we're going to use it. So we will connect this pin to ground of our Arduino. Inside we have this driver here, and this is the common flyback diode. You connect this thing to the motor of the pump, and on this side to 3 volts. And this will be connected to the Arduino output. So what should we do with the flyback diode? We connect the flyback diode to the supply voltage. And that's it. That's how the schematic looks like. This transistor inside here is capable of 500 milliamps, and we will see around 400. So it should be fine. It will definitely get warm, but it will be fine. Especially with multiple channels, I'm not so sure. So please let me know in the comments if you have some experience with the ULN2003. I would be curious if you can use 500 milliamps on every channel, because they don't mention anything in this ST datasheet. Or at least I didn't see it. One big advantage of using a transistor is that we can turn it on and off very quickly. This allows us to use pulse width modulation to drive the pump. This is awesome. We can now control the speed of the pump, not just turn it on and off. It was way too fast anyway. Also, it should be possible to power it from the 5 volt rail instead of 3 volt. We just need to make sure not to set the pulse width modulator duty cycle too high, as this could damage the motor. But how do I know how much duty cycle is safe? I have an idea how we could do this very simply. Please let me know your thoughts if this is a valid idea, but I think this should be fine. I will use a scale to measure the volume that I transfer with the pump. I will start the pump with 3 volts for a few seconds, and then I will use this scale to measure how much water was actually pumped. And then I will set the voltage to 5 volts and reduce the duty cycle. And then I will try to find the same amount. And this is how we can find out very simply where the maximum should be. Worst case, this cheap Chinese pump will die. So be it. Ground to ground. I will use a pulse width modulated pin. So let's use pin 10, for example. And I will also connect ground. Now to be safe, I will now connect the flyback diode. So the flyback diode goes from here to this supply voltage here. And that's where I will change the Varo clip to a bigger one. Because now I can connect my flyback diode here. And then also ground of the pump will be switched with this chip here. For the first test, let's just turn it on completely for 3 seconds. First I need to define pin 10 as output. Then I will turn on pin 10, wait for 3 seconds, and then turn it off again. I will turn on the scale. I will turn on the power supply. And now I'm ready for the pump. So if I press reset now, Arduino starts with its setup again, and it should start the pump for 3 seconds. Let's take a look. Well, I connected it to pin 9. Let's use pin 10. 37 grams. I think we should increase the amount because this is not very accurate. Let's pump for 10 seconds. And I will put... Oh, I'll put this back. Let's start the pump. 153 grams. That's also approximately milliliters. Let's do this again and see if this is a reliable measurement. Not bad, 152. Let's see what it does if we now use analog write pin 10 and we set it to 128. As you might know, analog write can be set from 0 to 255. So 255 is the maximum duty cycle of 100%, which means turned on all the time. And 128 is almost 50%. So we go with 128. And after 10 seconds, we set it to 0. As you can see, the pump isn't working anymore. Why? Because I didn't increase the voltage. But my plan was, of course, to increase it. So let's increase the voltage to 5 volts. Because then it uses the same voltage as our Arduino and we could technically supply it via USB. However, USB delivers 500 milliamps, so maybe with one pump. But for now, I will keep the power supply and I set it to 5 volts. So let's go. All right, 172. So this is a little bit too much, I think, for our poor pump. Let's decrease it. Is it linear? I don't think so, but let's make a linear approach. We calculate 128 divided by 172 times 154, 114. So let's set it to 114 and see what happens. And first we'll put that back. Good. Let's do this again. That's a little bit less. 137 grams. So let's set it to 120 then. Or maybe 116 and see what happens. 140 grams. Let's do 120. Perfect. 120 is perfect. Now that we know our maximum, we could write a function and only use that function to turn on the pump. This function could make sure to not exceed 120. So let's make a void set pump, and set pump is going to take byte pulse width modulation. If this value is bigger than 120, we set it to 120, and then we analog write pin 10 to this value. And now we can use set pump right here and right here. And we can remove this pin here. Let's see if that works. 144, not too bad. Also a nice side effect, now that we decrease the pulse width modulation, the average current goes down. So now we only get 207 milliamps, which is great. But now I would like to try something like setting it to 255, and it just doesn't care. It sets it to 120 and it will pump 150 grams. So that's perfect. That's a safe way of operating our pump now, using our defined function here. And we should get rid of this white space here. Let's see if we set it to 50, will it still be able to pump water? Nope, it's not able to pump water anymore. So let's increase it to 70. Nope, 90. With 90, we got 50 grams. Can we do less than 50 grams? Maybe with 85. It's stuck. Nope. Too weak. Let's go 88. Yes, that works. And it was able to pump more than 50 grams, 57 grams. That's not very consistent because this setup here is not very consistent, of course. If I put it higher like this, it's not able to pump it at all. Should measure the height of the water. My last test, I will put it to full steam or full allowed steam. And then I will try to power it off the Arduino. So let's power it off the Arduino. I connect it directly to 5 volts. And we see if my MacBook complains about the high current consumption. But I don't think so. Let's see. Full steam at 5 volts. Oh, it works great. Now, this wasn't a very scientific experiment. As you see, there are a lot of variables. I was just holding this thing. But I hope you learned something. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe to this channel if you're ready to dive deep into the world of Arduino. Let me know your thoughts below. I think using this transistor array works way better. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.